Okay. We are live. Okay. Okay. All right, so we should be live. I know the game's not up just yet, but it will be. Let's see here. Let me get the chat up on my phone. Let's see. Okay, sorry about that little delay. So, today it's going to be just like the... No. Dang it. Okay. Okay. It's going to be just like what we did last time with Alan Wake. I have my questions here that we're going to answer. We're going to play the Stanley Parable. And from what I've read, this game is a narrative comedy. So I'm kind of interested in what that's going to look like. Let's see. Okay. Let's make sure you guys can see it. The Stanley Parable. Why can't you guys see it? Capture specific window. Stanley Parable. Options. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm going to turn off my camera so you guys can see it. Maybe that'll make it a little bit easier. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so hopefully... Let's see, the chat has a bit of a delay. Let's see. Okay, so hopefully... Let's see, the chat has a bit of a delay. Let's see. Okay. So you guys hopefully should be able to hear me again now. Let's see. Okay. So you guys hopefully should be able to hear me again now. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Alright, so this is, from what I understand, a narrative comedy, and we're just going to get right into it. We played about an hour's worth of Alan Wake. I plan on doing the same, unless I get really hooked on this game. Alan Wake was good. So yeah, let's see if the Stanley Parable is good. So, let's see here. Audio. Subtitles only. Okay, let me know if any of this sounds off. This should not sound off at all, but... There we go. And let's go ahead and start the Stanley Parable. End is never the end, is never the end, is loading. That's weird. Okay, I can tell this is going to be kind of a kooky game. I can tell right now. This is going to be a little bit kooky. And the only reason I turned off the face cam is because last time I realized there was a little bit of muffled audio. So...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
That's weird.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
That's weird. This is kind of weird. Okay. Let's get started then. Okay, Wazad is clearly how we, whoa, we move fast. Stanley knows how to move fast.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Meeting room. I guess this is it. I hate Mondays. That's relatable.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
But we can enter the door on the right. Let's follow along with the narrator.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Tips for not getting fired. More I hate Mondays mugs. Oh my gosh. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Okay. Everyone is unique. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'll follow along with the narrator for just a second. Man, it is bright outside. Oh, this is kind of kooky.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Well, gee, that's a big passageway. This just got creepy. And very dark. And we are going downstairs fast. Okay.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
What? Mind control facility. Escape. Escape. Ooh. Hey, that's funny. Spelled just like the word escape. Ooh. Do we go to the mind control facility or do we go to escape? Man, I guess I'll follow the narrator. I'm not gonna be a free thinker just yet.
The The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
This got creepy. I thought this was supposed to be funny. Maybe it'll get funnier as we go on.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I want to get out of here now. Yeah. Oh no, are we bugging out? Oh boy. Okay.
No.
There we go.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
That's
But
creepy.
here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
So I have to hit this. That's offline. Well, Stanley's good at pushing buttons, but which buttons do we push? Oh. Okay. I guess we go down in here in this creepy thing. What buttons do we push? Oh. There's gotta be a button 3 and 4. There's 1, 2. That's 4. Where's 3? Is 3 down here? No, that's 5. One, 2. Maybe we'll head up here. Let's see. Take advantage of the height. I don't see a button 3. I can't sprint or jump. Oh yeah. What's in this door? This is new. On control, idle, awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
So we can turn the power back on? Oh, I don't want people under mind control. No. That'd be terrible. Oh, now we can't even see.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
It can't be
Freedom
this
was
easy.
mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Okay, so
the
it's
feeling
taken
of
over.
liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Dang.
And Stanley was happy.
This is weird. What? I beat the game? Wait, what am I doing back here if I beat the game? Oh, do I keep playing it and make all the other decisions?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so this time we're not gonna go to the meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're gonna go on the one to
This
the right.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Coffee!
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, so now we're gonna follow his instructions.
And so
again.
he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
But we're not gonna do that. Okay, so we're gonna do
But
everything.
Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
So we're gonna try going right. No. can't go out here. Okay, so we have no choice but to go left.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Oh, my gosh.
We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Do I have other options? No. Okay. Okay, now we're back here. But we have no choice.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, but we're still...
When Stanley... Wait. What?
Oh!
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
Ooh.
Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Let's go back to the right, then. We have to find the story now. Do we go this way? Let's go head left. Dang. This is like playing the back rooms. Dang, you don't know where you're going. I don't know where
I'll
I'm
say it.
at.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, the door's gonna be open this time.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Oh, wow, this is getting cool now. This is really starting to get cool. Those doors are closed.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes.
We haven't been down
No, wait,
here.
never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
What?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Is that
Well, do you
paint
know
or
what?
blood?
Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okay. End is never the end is never the end. Oh, I have a line to follow.
I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Okay. But this guy's getting all confused.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Music? Oh my gosh. This line, look at it. It's just as crazy.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. Noted. Plants are critical.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Yeah, we're back to where we started. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we came from here, so we need to go this way. Okay, this door's open now. This is new. Okay.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh my gosh. So I guess we're following the line again.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line.
Okay.
What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
What door did you open? Okay. 437.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
This is cool. We get to write our own story in a game. This is pretty cool. I mean, at first it's like confusing. It's like, hey, inside the back rooms.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Okay. But we have no choice, Mr. Narrator. Because the line's going where we're going. Okay.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay. The confusion ending.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped. Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Oh, you have no choice but to restart.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Okay, that's a sudden ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, let's see what we have this time. Meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Huh. Should we do left or right? I think I'm gonna follow the narrator again and see what happens.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay, so we're redoing what we did. So I wonder if this is a repeat of what we did, or if we need to go back again and not do what the narrator says.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'm gonna redo what he says, but if it's the same outcome, then I'm gonna go through the escape.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Because we already know how the game ends. This is interesting. We already know how the game ends.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Hoo-hoo.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Where's 3? You know where 4 and 5 are, but where's 3? I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna finish out the story. So
And when at last he found the...
yeah. Okay. So this is gonna be the exact same ending.
blackness
Okay.
and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to
Come on,
understand,
Dora, open up. We know.
but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, so we just beat the game a second time. Okay. Yeah. Now we're back.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're gonna do the escape this time. I think that's what I want to do this time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We're gonna go downstairs. Is there anything down here? Nope, just creepy red light.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
We've been to this room,
he
though.
came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
Come on, Stanley, wake up.
Dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
I wish my job was
My
just
life is
pushing
normal.
buttons.
I am normal. Everything will be fine.
My job was pushing buttons.
I am okay.
I wonder how many benefits that comes with. Will I get life insurance for just pushing buttons? Health insurance, dental, vision.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
That was creepy.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
We died?
Although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
No.
And then she turned and ran.
You didn't call 911, what? End is never the end is never the end. Okay, we're back.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, now we're gonna go for the escape.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Sorry, Mr. Narrator, sorry to interrupt you, but... Oh, hey, is this something else? We can open this door? Oh, hey, I need to take a poo. Yeah, sorry, I need to take a poo. No, not working. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Boss is crazy. Stanley's not crazy, but that boss sure is. Can we open these doors? A gun to a panda? What? Hey, can we use the elevator? Can we go... Okay, I don't know if we're going up or down. We're going up. Elevator music is so annoying. Okay, so we're going up. So I wonder what's going to be up here. This is so cool, a game where you get to create your own story. Like, they have everything set up, they have a base story, but if you don't follow the narrator's instructions, like, you can end up creating your own story. That's cool. Got all the instructions on all the restarts. Oh, don't tell me we're stuck in this elevator. Are we humming? Oh my gosh. Oh man, this is insane. This is hilarious. I will say that. This is absolutely hilarious. Don't mind me, Stanley. I'm just gonna be piddling on my phone until we get to where we're supposed to be. You have to push the button to get out? We're back in the office, okay. Let's go down. Okay, I'll let a minute of this go. Let's see if we make it anywhere. If we don't make it anywhere, yeah, I'm gonna be mad. I'm just gonna lay back. Maybe take a little bit. Oh man. Okay, so the field notes for this is gonna be difficult because it's just like Alan Wake, but this is gonna be difficult because this whole thing is, you know, it's called the Stanley Parable. Man, this is hard. This is gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for me to write my field notes on this. The gap between the player and the game, the dynamics, hard-coded content, schemes and peripherals, difficulty, visual design, sound design. I mean, that's not going to be hard. Rule-driven, game-driven, representation, identity, level and level design, choice design. Choice. You have a lot of choices you can make in this game. Cheeks, game, summary, yeah. Man, it's going to be hard to do this game. Okay. Okay. Clearly we're not going anywhere. Clearly that elevator is stalled.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, Mr. Narrator, but...
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, now we're gonna go for the escape this time. Can't go that way. Oh, escape. There's so many different things. Like, it's getting repetitive.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh no, he didn't. He followed the sign that said escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I'm gonna die? There's gonna be something or someone down here.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No, Mr.
At this
Narrator.
point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I'm gonna fall to my death. I didn't die? What?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture.
Oh, I'm gonna get crushed.
Trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh, did it jam?
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Wait, no. The machine jammed and we fell.
And yet it would
Stanley
be just a
Parable.
few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Stanley's computer. Office layout. The blueprint shows the office from beginning of the game. The two doors part of the section been added. Okay. Computers. The two doors. Oh wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is 3? Wait. No, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Finally, I got to hit all 5 buttons. That's the credits now. Which way do we go? The office. Warzone. Oh, this is cool. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. An action game would become the sensation more. It's a narrator, we realized shortly after. Far too jokey on the nose for the tone of the game, plus some people interpret it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Okay. In September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight Valve's processing improving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos which were enough to win approval. That's cool. This is cool how this whole thing explains the game. So this is like a museum of the Stanley Parable. And you can get very turned around in. I haven't been in a room that allows lovers. Exit. I don't want to exit just yet. There's Stanley's office. Yeah. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, second March of 2012, and the third in February 2013. So that's the first office. That's the second one. And this is the third. Okay. Narrator emails. Okay, that we've already seen. I want to head all the way back down and over this way. This is cool. It's like a video game museum almost. Boss's office. Okay. Office clock. What's down here? Mind control to the underground. Narration out. Kevin Briding, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue from the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that were not used.
See, Stanley walked through the green door.
Okay, I can't hear him. Okay, there's no button you can push or anything. Okay, so now we head back upstairs. Check out these. And then if there's nothing new... Yeah, there's nothing new. Okay. So exit the Stanley Parable.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Ew. No, I'm not hitting escape and quit. But... Okay, I died. I didn't know you could die. Like that. Oh, and you have to hit... Okay, so you had no choice.
This is the story. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. So we're going...
Yet there was not a single person here either.
But this time we're going to turn the
Feeling a
mind
wave of
control back
disbelief,
on.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, this time we're going to...
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
No. No, I was pointing at 4. Dang it. Two, 8, 4, 5. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? The passage was already open anyway. Okay, nearly. Okay, now we go. We don't escape. We go to the mind control, but we opt to keep the mind control running.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
This thing runs way too long, though.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay, just get me to the...
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again...
There we go.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice.
What do I do?
Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oh my gosh. Narrator, you're evil. Oh man.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Okay,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
There
Perhaps
has to be a way to beat that, but I'm gonna play around with the right door.
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Let's see, I think we've taken that door.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yeah. Do not jump from the cargo lift in motion. Penalty for misuse, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off, $5,000. Oh man.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Our wife.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your...
Pick up the phone. 4
Stanley, is
2.
that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
We're in the apartment.
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
You're creepy.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Press B.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures.
Okay.
From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Dang.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Please press O to spend time.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
We didn't come across a baby.
It was such a
we missed that
wonderful
one.
fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press 8 to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Press 4 to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Press 8 to be at work in the morning. Okay. What do I do instead? Maybe I just sit here for a second? I don't know. This game is so kooky. Okay, nothing's happening. Sorry.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press B to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again,
That's
and
horrible.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
That's horrible. That's hilarious. The end is never the end. Oh my gosh. Are there any more paths?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh man, I'm gonna go to the right again.
When Stanley came to a set
Sure.
of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, we're taking this.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Yeah.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, I think we've run out of possibilities.
Here's the door, just go.
Yeah, I imagine. Here's the door, just go. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. We've already done the escape.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Mind control facility. We failed that, so we're just...
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom
Whoa,
meant
I almost
nothing.
fell. Let's get out of here.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only
ours,
reason he was happy
427.
with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I'm gonna explore.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I want to figure out there's a way to get that door open. There's gotta be a way.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was
I
his
don't
duty,
know.
his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Oh, man. I want to try again, but I don't think I can. Ooh. I'm just going to go with... I'm just going to do the happy ending.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
I'll have to
Freedom
try it
was
again
mere
on my own
moments
time.
away.
I'll have to look up.
And yet, even
you
as the
beat
immense
the,
door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on
nuclear
how many
thing.
puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Is there something else we can do back here? No, there's nothing else.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of
I'll
liberation,
have to
the immense possibility of the new path before him.
try
This was exactly the way,
again with the
right now, that things were meant to happen.
other
And Stanley
ending.
was happy.
Yeah, I'll have to try again with the other ending. But let's see. That's it for yeah, that's it for the Stanley Parable. Yeah, my thoughts on the game were that it was, let's see here. Let's see here. Boo, 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 boo. No, dark screen. No, it's a dark screen. Just a second. Here. Boo, 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 boo. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, we should have this on now. And this should be on as well. Okay. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. I've really enjoyed it. The Stanley Parable, if I can talk, was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing it. Had quite a few unique aspects to it. The fact that you're choosing your own story, I really like that. The figuring out the puzzle though at the end with the nuclear detonation with a nuclear bomb. That's kind of tricky, though. Yeah, so with that being said, I think I'm going to end the stream here. We've been going on for a little over an hour and a half. Yeah, the gameplay's pretty simple. The audience is a bit scattered. Yeah, it's, kind of like a choose your own adventure game. You can follow the narrator, you can go against what the narrator says, and my camera looks terrible. I'm going to turn that off. Okay. But yeah, I think, overall, I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I may have to go back and play it again just to get that last little puzzle. Just to get that puzzle done, because that was that's something I'd like to figure out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys for next weekend. I am going to do another stream. I've not decided what game I'm going to do yet. So, check out my YouTube community post. I will probably post Thursday next week. Maybe Thursday or Friday next week as to what game I'm doing. So yeah, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys in all the videos for next week and in the next stream.